Hi, I'm Kat and I play Red. One of the things that I really enjoy is watching a game grow up. There's various games that hopefully you've watched where I've had a prototype and then after it's gone to Kickstarter, it's been funded and I'll get a release copy. And it's really nice to see what things have changed and just how much better stuff is. This is one of those games. Now, it's not one you guys have seen before, but it's one I've seen before. And the game is Founders of Teotihuacan. Now, I saw a prototype of this at Essenspiel, October. I kind of had a quick demonstration. I didn't get to play it. I had a quick demonstration of how the game played. And this is it. So today we are going to be looking at Founders of Teotihuacan, designed by Philippe Glovac and produced by Board&Dice. Let's see how it plays. Travel back in time to the founding of Mesoamerica. Design a great civilization with buildings, temples, and of course, a great pyramid. In Founders of Teotihuacan, you will compete to create the best designed version of Teotihuacan. Using an interesting action selection system, you'll need to gain resources, place tiles, and build your pyramid, all while your workforce diminishes. Depending on the number of players will depend on the number of rounds. If you have 3 players, you're going to play 3 rounds. 2 or 4 players will give you 4 rounds. And believe me, that extra round will make all the difference. In your turn, you must either perform an action or pass. To perform an action, you need to place between 1 and 3 of your discs on an action space on the main board. Here. Your action strength will then be equal to the number of discs on that space, including the bonus disc and any other discs that other players have there. However, the maximum height of a stack can only ever be 4, including the bonus disc. When placing your discs in an area, you will then need to decide if you want to take the action at the top, which are build actions, or the action at the bottom, which are the influence actions. Now, let's have a look at our player boards and some of the building rules. Depending on turn order, your architect will start on one side of your board. I'm going first, so he starts at the top. If I was going second there, third, fourth, but he's starting at the top. At the end of each of your turns, you'll need to move him round clockwise. This is quite easy to forget, so make sure you do it yourself and poke other players to do it if need be. You can only build within your architect's reach. That is the 2 quadrants he is next to. So when he's here, it's these 2. When he's here, these 2, and so on. This applies for building tiles, temple tiles, and pyramid tiles. Now, you can overhang quadrants as long as both of them are within the architect's reach. So that is fine. However, that wouldn't be because this quadrant isn't in his reach. Obviously, I can place it there. The first thing to take note of when you build is your action strength. This determines what size of tile you can build. So here, including the bonus disc, I have 1, 2, 3. So I can build a 3-sized tile. The first spot here is your basic buildings. The strength of your action indicates the size of the tile. So I've got 3, I can take a 3, I'm going to plonk it on my board, and then I get to place resources around it in the orthogonally adjacent spaces. So let's pop them there, 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 and I need one more there. These buildings will be how you gain resources throughout the game. Whenever you place a tile, check to make sure you're not completing one of these mask areas. There's 2 in each quadrant. If you completely cover every spot, not with resources, but with buildings, you're then going to take the top mask tile of the appropriate colour and gain the points shown and score them immediately. So the gold ones tend to be simpler and are worth less points. The purple ones, pink ones, middle of the road, and the purple, the toughest. So whenever you place a tile, just double check to make sure you've not covered one of them and you need to grab a mask. The second building spot here is the temple tiles. Now these are going to cost you resources as shown here. Your action strength can actually be bumped up on here. So if I had 3, I've got an action strength of 3 here, and I want to build this blue temple, which is 4. So I pay the 2 stone, and I could actually pay 1 wood to make that a 4. Same with the orange one here, that's a 5, so I could pay the stone and the gold and then pay 2 stone to bump my strength up to a 5. When you place these, let's just grab this one, pop that here, not my best moment. You're then going to take one of the corresponding worship tiles. So these will give you points over the course of the game. Let's say I just take that one, I'm going to pop that into my area and flip that top one over. So you always gain one of the worship tiles when you buy one of the temple tiles. The temples will give you end game points. So you need to think quite carefully about your placement on that. We'll go into that later. And again, don't forget, if you manage, if you manage to cover a mask area, you're going to get the mask tile and the appropriate points. The third building spot is your pyramid tiles. These again cost resources. Let's move my 3 over here. And these tiles are 4 big. Like the temple tiles, you can bump these up. So if I had a strength of 4, I'd pay 2 gold and a wood. I have 3, so I can pay an extra gold to bump it up to a 4. I'm going to take a pyramid tile, place it on your board. Again, it must be within my architect's reach. And you're going to gain the bonus shown on the board. So here, that's one of those green tiles. I'd have to place it within my architect's reach again, so in these 2 quadrants. And I would also gain 2 points. Now, let's have a look at the influence spots on the bottom of the board here. Now, you only actually need 1 disc to trigger these. So let's just put 1 there for now. Now, this first spot here has 2 different options. I'm going to take some of these away and just put some stuff on board to show you how it works. So the first option here means I can gain resources from my buildings. Each brown, grey or yellow building I have will produce a resource that matches it. So in the case I have here, I would get a brown, a grey and a gold here. So I'm going to take those and pop them next to my buildings. The second option here is to gain 2 of these little 1 square buildings. Now I could take 2 grey, 2 brown, or 1 of each. Let's say I take 1 of each. Again, they must be placed within my architect's reach. Let's pop that one there, which would cover the masks. And I'd get a brown resource there. And if I pop that grey there, I'm going to get 4 resources round the outside. So that is our first influence spot. Second influence spot here allows you to trade in the worship tiles. So I can go there, and if I had the 3 temple tiles shown on my tile here, I'd gain 9 points. So let's pretend I have them. I would gain 9 points on my player board here and pop that one at the bottom of the stack because it's done. The third spot here allows you to gain points pure and simply. So I could choose to move up here. I'd gain 2 points and I could swap out one of the worship tiles I had. So let's say I hadn't cashed in that one. That one's not too great for me. So I could put that back and take, say, this blue one because I fancy the look of that a bit more. So that allows you to kind of manipulate these tiles in order to get what you want. And that is the 6 available actions. There's a couple more things on the board that we'll have a look at. So I mentioned earlier the round marker, which is here. At the start of each round, you're going to move this forward 1, and then when they meet, that's your final round. There's a little reminder here that tells you you can always trade 2 gold for a wood or a stone, which is good information. Then you've got your end game points for your pyramids, which we'll come on to in a bit. Then you have these bonus tiles that I've hidden, the bonus discs here. Now, these are going to change every round, but if you're the first person to go on one of these, you're going to get the bonus from it. If other people come and place on top, they don't get the bonus, but I will for being the first person on it. Now, there's 5 different discs. I bet we haven't got all 5 out. Oh, I think we might have actually. We do. So, this one here gives you 1 point and a resource of your choice. Whenever you see this symbol here, that's points. So 1 point and a resource of your choice. This one here is simply 2 points. Nice and easy. This one here is an influence action of your choice. So if I was to go here and build, I could then choose one of the 3 bottom influence actions to take. There's also a tile for building, which works in exactly the same way. So if I went there, I could build one of these and I could then choose to build somewhere else. Or I could take the influence action and again build from anywhere else on the board. And then the last one, yep, we do have, is 1 point. And this is actually going to give you +1 to your action strength. So if I put these 2 on here, that would actually count as a 4 rather than a 3 because of the bump from the bonus tile. Now, these are randomly assigned at the start of each round, so they're going to change. There's actually 9 in total, and you're going to shuffle them up and place them at random at the start of each round. So that changes each round. Now, let's pop this stuff back and have a look at basically how the game plays. At the start of the game, each player is going to start with 1 pyramid tile of each colour to place. So you're going to choose where on your pyramid you want to place these. This is the only time the architect's reach doesn't apply. So I can pop these wherever I want. I'm then going to get the bonuses shown. So let's have a look at what I might want. I think I'm going to put that there. So I'm going to get that little grey too. Now, as I said, you don't have to worry about the architect's reach here, but you cannot place over these mask icons because you could just cover one almost straight away at that point. I am going to pop that there. I'm then going to put my green here and take an orange tile. Oops. I'm not going to put that there. I'm going to put it there. Ah, and I didn't place my resources, which is dumb. So let's do that. Now, I'm going to place my resources, but I actually want to place this guy here. I can do that, I just lose the resources, which is fine by me for now. I'm going to pop that there. And then lastly, I don't know, I'm going to put this here actually and take the blue. And I think actually that is going to go there. So that is my first tree placement and my reward placement. So, oops, let's play a few turns and see how it works. I kind of know what I want to do. I do know what I want to do. I want to take an influence action, so there's no point putting a ton of workers down. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to take this influence action, and I'm going to take 1 of each tile. Now I'm going to put the brown in there, which means I only get the 1 brown because there's not room to put the resources. It's fine. And do you know, I think I'm just going to put that there for now. I don't really know. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's one of my actions. Because of this, I can do another one. So what I'm actually going to do is take this influence action as my bonus. So I'm going to move up there, which gets me 2 points. And it means I can exchange one of these tiles. Now, when I took these temple tiles, I got the worship tiles. I don't like this one because I don't have any green. So I'm going to ditch that. And I'm actually going to take this one because I've got that there. So, and that's my turn. It's that simple. Now, I'm just going to put some discs down for Rob. Don't know. You're not going to have any resources. So let's go here and say he takes 3. He can take a 4 tile with that. So let's say Rob takes that one. Now that's quite good. Oh, I didn't move my architect. See, that's how easy it is to forget. At the end of my turn, I should have moved him to there. So I'm doing that before I take my next action. This is quite handy for me. Now, because Rob got the bonus, I don't get the bonus, but I'm going to go there and I get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What would I like? I don't know. I feel like I need some brown, some wood. So I'm going to take that. Now remember, it has to go in the architect's reach. So one of these 2 sectors, I'm actually going to pop it there and start covering up this group of masks. And I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 wood. And that's it. That's my action. So then I move my architect. See, look at me remembering. I'm going to just pop a disc there for Rob. And then what do I want? I know what I want, but can I do it? No. I'm actually going to come back here because I need some gold. Or do I want to build this? I'm going to build this. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to get the 2 points and I have a build of 3. So I want to build the blue actually, which is going to cost me 2 stone and a wood, but I only have 3 there. So I have to pay 1 more resource to make it 4. So there's my wood. So the wood makes it into a 4 and the 2 stone for that building. So I'm going to take that. I get to take a worship tile. I'm going to take that one. And then I'm going to pop him on the board within my architect's reach. Now I'm actually going to pop it there. And then I'm going to move my architect. Then for my last action, I'm going to do a build. I need some gold. So I'm going to go here and take this for 4. I have a build of 4 and I'm going to plonk that. I'm going to pop it there, I think. And I'm going to place my resources around that. So I've got some gold ready to hopefully build some pyramid tiles in the next round. Move my architect. Must remember to do that. Now, at the end of a round, the first thing we're going to do is move that sun marker up. We're going to restock the tiles. Pop these on. This is set up for a 2-player, so the number of tiles you have depends on the number of players. So in a 2-player game, these will restock to 1 of each and these to 2 of each. Depending on the player count, will depend on the number of tiles. Oops, that needs to be flipped over. Will depend on the number of tiles you have. So that's what we're having here. Once we've done that, we're then going to take our discs back. But, and this is where it gets interesting, both of us, well, all of us, everyone playing will lose 1 worker. So they just go to the side, never to be seen again. Then the final thing we're going to do is take all these bonus discs, shuffle them up, let's just and replace them. Again, you can see in a game with more players, you're going to have more available discs. Because this is set up for 2 players, we only have 2 on each spot. So in a 3 to 4 player game, all of these spots are going to be full. And then first player token is going to move to the next player clockwise, that way. And you're going to start the second round. You're going to play 3 or 4 rounds, depending on the number of players, and then move on to final scoring. Players will now score additional VPs for how well their districts complement their pyramids. Look at how my land has grown while you weren't looking. You're going to score each district. Now do one at a time, and there's a reminder on the board for how your points work. So for each pyramid tile that matches your temple tile, you're going to get points. So in this quadrant here, I have an orange pyramid tile and an orange temple. So because this tile is on the first level, that is going to score me 2 points. We're then going to look at this quadrant, and you'll see both the temple tile and the pyramid tile overhang. So they will actually also score me for this quadrant. So again, I get another 2 points. Then we're going to look at my blue. I have 2 blue temple tiles in this quadrant and 2 pyramid tiles in that quadrant. So that one will get me to 4 points, and that one will also get me 4 points. So I'm going to get a total of 8 points. Then we're going to move on to this quadrant. And again, this pyramid and these temple tiles will score me 4. Now this blue one here on the second level will actually get me 3 points for every temple tile. So that one is going to get me 6 points for them. Then we have 2 greens and 1 green temple, so that will get me 4 points. And then in this quadrant, I don't get anything for the blue because there's no blue temple tiles in this quadrant, but I will score 2 points for that green tile there. Actually, now I look at it, that blue is not in this quadrant, it's purely in that quadrant. And there's even these little guidelines here to help you, and I still messed up. So I would advise that you probably, especially on your first couple of plays, do each person's board and get someone else watching and checking, because when you have things that are crossing, it can get a little bit complex. So if your tile is at the bottom of the pyramid, you'll get 2 points for each temple. On the second level, you're going to get 3 points. And there's a handy reminder on the board here that just tells you that. If you're lucky enough to get something on the very top of the pyramid, then that pyramid tile will actually score in all 4 quadrants, but it will only be worth 3 points again. Once you've added up the score in all 4 of your quadrants, the player with the most points wins. So that is Founders of Teotihuacan, a tile laying game. I think this is more of a polyomino. I don't know. Tile laying to me indicates something like Carcassonne, where you just have tiles rather than the weird shapes. When I saw this, I was quite surprised because I thought, oh, it's quite a lightweight game for Board&Dice. Now I've played it, it's not at all. I have to admit, we've played it several times, but we've only actually managed to play it at 2 players at the moment, and it works fine with 2. I imagine 3 is probably going to be the optimum. No, 4 is going to be the optimum, because you get that extra round. In 3 players, you're only getting 3 rounds. In 4, you're getting 4 rounds. And obviously, other people adding discs means you're going to be able to do the bigger actions for cheaper. But then you can only ever have a total of 3 discs on top of these bonuses. And it's going to be harder to get the bonuses. There's a lot going on in this. I really enjoy it. It was a pleasant surprise. Getting your resources is fine, but then you've got to think about placing other tiles around there because you don't want to lose too many resources. Whenever you place tiles, you want to be getting resources on the board, but they are taking up precious space. And if you end up with too many on these mask spots, you're not going to get the bonuses from the little mask tiles. And these can be invaluable because they're a healthy chunk of points. Same with the worship tiles. But if you start focusing on that, you're not going to get the end game points. And you've only got 4 rounds. And each round you lose a worker. So it becomes harder to do the actions you want because you've got less workers. There's a lot going on in this. I'm really enjoying it so far. It definitely makes you think a lot more than you would suspect from something that's labelled a tile laying game. I think that's almost doing it an injustice. I know most gamers immediately think of Carcassonne when you say tile laying, and I would not say this is family friendly for most families. It's fun. It's crunchy, and it does occasionally make you go, ah, which we quite like in games. The endgame scoring can be a little bit tricky. I would say do one person at a time rather than someone going ahead and doing it. If you're starting, if you're playing the game for the first few times, go through, do each quadrant at a time and have multiple people just checking it. We like this a lot. I think it's out in Europe now. It's scheduled for release at Gen Con. Oh, the other thing to mention, the player boards have got a B-side, so if this isn't enough for you, there's more. There's always more. Go and check it out at Gen Con. It will be coming up on our list of things to see at Gen Con. Other than us, obviously. Come and see me. Come and say hello. I'll be at Gen Con. This will be at Gen Con. Yay! We'll all be at Gen Con. Except Rob, he won't be at Gen Con. But we will be at Gen Con. We're like the new power couple. Look. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click like and subscribe. More of you need to subscribe. What's with this? Please subscribe. It helps. It helps me get seen. It helps with everything. So if you do enjoy it, do please click subscribe. If you don't, well, don't care. I'll just go into the corner and cry. Come and say hello on my socials on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I Play Red. See you next time. Bye.